how we could insert number of values for first column. We actually recorded the code. I'm going to Visual Basic. Allow me to close this one. New macro. And this is about table grids, table rows, heading, etc. Doesn't matter. Let's remove it to make cleaner. Okay. And here we say selection.home key unit, word story, and inserting the values. Let's copy only these 2 lines. Actually 4 lines. Right click, copy, user form, insert, and maybe it is better to make another button to not confuse. Allow me to make another button, control drag, and let's say insert numbers or orders. Double click and I paste it here. Let's try actually is it working or not. I'm going to the word, remove this one, and macro, my macro, run 6 and 4, insert and insert. Yes, it is working 1, 2. But we need actually make more flexible. We need to add numbers based on how many rows we have. How we got the rows? Actually, we already inserted here. And allow me to remove this. Assign that inside of int rows. So it is great to use that. Of course, we need to go first to the first cells of the table. And let's use the loop. First define it. Dim I as integer. And I say I equal, what was that, intro. But we have some problems I will mention, don't worry. Intro. As you see, it is not knowing intro. The reason is actually our defined integer inside of the private subroutine, which the scope it is different and not accessible here. I will mention about that later on, but for now, just let's say again equal to textbox1.text. It is accessible, and make a loop for I from 1 to the max value. Still it is I, or I could say value of textbox1, and here say next I or next, and every time we gonna type the I value. So instead of static, I say I, and selection move down, unit 1, count 1. So 1 time go down, and that's fine. We don't need actually more. However, here order it is wrong, but let's try it to show you. Macro, my macro, run 5 and 2, insert table, insert. And there it is. This is my code. Why did I mention the order it is not correct? Because if you check your order of code, it's starting from 1, first typing and then going down and then going next one. The correct way actually was using this code after this one. But because for now it is working, and note that after finishing going outside of table, it is fine. So with this simple code, we could actually make auto numbering for our first column. Let's run macro again. This time maybe 50 and 3 columns, insert, and insert numbers. You see, we actually made our first automation, which it is very useful inside of Word without using bulletin numbering, copying text, etc. with few codes. So let's analyze this code. I know it might be get a bit confusing and too fast. So on the insert, I defined 2 variables for row and column, and I assigned first value of text box for the row and the second text box value for the column. And then we made our first table. Make a table, how many rows, any values inserted on text box 1, and how many columns inserted on text box 2. And for second button, for making auto numbering, first we went to the very first cell of the table. Allow me to add extra line to be separated. Actually, I could add comments here. Going to the very first cell of table. Then here we start to make auto numbering. How? I defined a variable and set the values of text box 1. Text box 1 was the rows. So with this code, we know how many rows exactly we have. And then I started the loop from 1 to the maximum number of rows, of course. Start type the value. It is 1, so it's gonna write 1. Then go to the down one time, next one. In the next video, to just analyze and use more flexible code, I want to take a bit here to make you more understanding of how simple it is now.